Hi, I'm bigcal and welcome to my world. Today, my top 10 favourite Nintendo Wii games that I currently own. Take a fun arcade shooter and plonk it on the Wii with motion controls. Bam! You got a super fun game. It still surprises me that the Wii didn't have more games like this outside of a handful. Because with motion controls, arcade shooting games are even more fun. GoSquirt is a game you can put in, load up and start having arcade shooty fun in minutes, complete with multiple paths to help create replayability. This was a game that convinced me to buy a plastic gun to put my Wiimote into. With Rare being bought out by Microsoft, the Donkey Kong Country series was likely dead, especially since it hadn't had a new game since the Super Nintendo days. Along comes Retro Studios and gets the chance to revitalise the classic platformer series, and they knock it out of the park. It's classic old school Donkey Kong Country gameplay, but still feels like a new game at the same time, if that's even possible. Crazy level designs, fun bosses and plenty of collectibles for completionists. The motion control aspects take a little getting used to, but thankfully most of the game is your basic D-pad plus button setup. Technically a tech demo, but I'll be damned if Wii Sports wasn't one of the most fun games the Nintendo Wii had to offer. This game alone probably sold millions of the system. It brought in tons of new players who could pick up a Wii controller and be playing classic sports games in seconds due to the very intuitive motion controls. I spent countless hours on bowling, baseball and boxing, both alone and with friends. Hell, even my granddad played the golf game and beat me. Tennis is the game that personally I play the least, but everyone else who tried out the game on my system definitely had fun with it. While Wii Sports Resort made use of the improved accuracy with the Motion Plus, it and its games never quite had that same feeling of the original Wii Sports. So, the Nintendo Wii is all about kids games, huh? Mad World takes that idea, stabs it in the gut and throws it through a wood chipper. Developed by Platinum Games, Mad World is a Nintendo Wii exclusive, featuring the incredibly fun hack-and-slash combat we have come to expect from them. The unique selling point for this game, though, is that it's entirely in black and white. Except for the blood. And oh boy, is there a lot of blood. You earn points by creating your own combos using weapons and your environment to cause as much mayhem and death as possible. To top it all off, the game is set within a TV show and Greg Proops is the commentator. If you own a Nintendo Wii, this is a game you want in your collection. It was a toss-up between the second and third game for me, but while I feel the controls work better in the third, the second is the more complete game. Both story modes are your typical Dragon Ball Z story, as you would expect. Only 2 goes into far more detail as opposed to 3, which tends to skip over a lot of stuff. We also have a better selection of what-if scenarios too. The roster is huge, though missing some characters that the third game would have, but all in all it is one hell of a roster, and the Wii version even has a couple of exclusives that the other consoles didn't get. Motion controls in fights are fun as hell, forcing you to do a lot of the trademark moves for real. Playing through the story mode, unlocking new characters and moves, and just having a blast with tournaments or exhibition fights is what this game is all about. I played the hell out of it when I first got it, and I still enjoy playing through some of the what-if scenarios today. Take the formula of the X-Men Legends games and throw in just about every Marvel character imaginable and you have the closest we'll probably ever get to a real Avengers game. An interesting story that takes you across time and space against some of the biggest Marvel villains ever as you build up your own team of Marvel characters and level them up in an action RPG style game that I have yet to grow tired of. Each character has a bunch of unique attacks that you can level up and equip throughout the game, as well as items to increase stats and special attacks that will rock any enemy on screen at the time. The Wii version has Colossus as an exclusive character too. I've played through this multiple times and will continue to do so in the future. Just a shame the sequel was a massive letdown. I recently did a review for this game, link in the description, so most of you know why I love this already. So I'll just say that it is an incredible arcade-style racer with unique mechanics that make every single lap different no matter which track you play on. Star Wars games have been around for what feels like forever, but few of them truly make you feel like an all-powerful Force user. The Jedi Knight series was pretty good at this, as was Knights of the Old Republic, but the Force Unleashed, especially the Wii version, makes you feel like the most powerful being in history, more than any other game before or after it. Force pull, Force push, Force choke. The further into the game you get, the more you level up and the more powerful everything feels. The daddy of all attacks, though, is Force Lightning, allowing you to take out an entire room of enemies like they were nothing, and even toppling AT-STs. The motion controls for the Wii version takes everything over the top too, be it lightsaber combat or performing Force attacks. The story, while not the best that the Star Wars universe has to offer, is still really fun, and there are 2 endings too, though a new save file on the final level can keep you from having to replay the entire game all over again just to see it. However, personally, I have replayed the game many times over, more than I can count, and despite playing a technically superior version on the PC, the Wii version is still king for me. The first game was a classic. Then along came Super Mario Galaxy 2, took everything good from the first game, gave us more of it, and added some extra features too. Those wonderful, colourful planets, the gravity, the power-ups, excellent level design, amazing soundtrack, and now Yoshi! Motion controls aren't used as often either, which is definitely a good thing. There is just something magical about the Galaxy games, making them the pinnacle of 3D Mario games, in my opinion. Both games could have been listed here, but I do slightly prefer the second game to the first. I only hope Super Mario Odyssey can build upon what Galaxy started, rather than going backwards like it did for Super Mario 3D World. Believe it or not, the Godfather game was my first introduction to the Godfather world. My friend's brother got the original PC version, me and my friend watched him play it and then played it ourselves, and it was great. So I watched the trilogy, read the book, and then when the Nintendo Wii came out and I found out there was an enhanced version of the game, sold. The Godfather game is similar to a GTA sandbox game, only more linear, focusing on the story of the Godfather rather than endless side quests and things to do. Sometimes not having a million different things to do is a good thing, and I can't really imagine this game being more open like GTA while still trying to focus on the incredible story that it is based on. You create your own character and are thrown into the story of the Godfather somewhat seamlessly, which is quite impressive. You have the main missions that are all taken from the film, complete with voice acting from the original cast, either taken from the film or re-recorded specifically for the game. Then you have rackets that you can take over to earn more money, rival families to try and take over, numerous hit contracts you can gain experience and money from. Despite being on the Wii, the world looks incredible and the map is deceptively large too. Then the Wii version throws in a bunch of extra missions, be they story missions, hit contracts, or favours. New weapons, new cars, new lines of dialogue, and even more. Motion controls make shooting a blast, no pun intended, and you can also hire a crew to help out in tricky situations. While the PS3 got a further updated version, I've yet to play that one, so the Wii version remains my favourite for the time being. And being this is a Wii list, it also remains my favourite Wii game that I currently own. I've 100% completed the game at least 5 times, which can take around 20 hours per playthrough. An incredible game regardless of which version you own, unless it's the PSP version, and an incredible title on the Nintendo Wii. And those are my top 10 favourite Nintendo Wii games that I currently own. I'm bigcal, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.